Emlyn, great to see you.
Good to be here. Thank you.
How have you enjoyed MTE?
It's been brilliant. It's been busy. It's been too busy. There's just too much to do. I really want to talk to all the analysts, all the engineers. I want to go to all the sessions. I want to go to that session there, but I want to go to that one as well. Yeah.
It's a bit daunting, isn't it?
Yeah. Good to see friendly faces.
It's our pleasure, really.
Broadcom and all the customers I haven't seen for a while. Yeah, really enjoyed it.
So, what's one thing you've learned this week, among the many?
One thing I've learned this week might probably not be the answer you expect, but that team build demo where they showed how they do their testing, that was mind-blowing. I'm not sure I learned. I think I need to go to it again because it was impressive. And I'm thinking, how am I going to do that with my processes?
Well, and that's something we'll happily help you with. But you actually have some insights into the sessions in MTEs because you've been the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And sometimes we actually use the same sessions, but you actually see some value in doing that.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they're the same. They're similar.
Okay.
But no, I was talking to another one of the customers who've been here 3 years in a row as well. And we said the same thing. First year, all mind-blowing, right? And we don't feedback much. But the second year, yeah, I understand that now. I can ask questions. I can say, why aren't you doing it this way? We give feedback. It's been great. So the third year, the same again, I think, yeah. And I think I'm getting more comfortable in my shoes, in my MTE shoes.
No, that's great to hear. And actually, I mean, comfortable in your MTE shoes, you're pretty comfortable because you did something quite interesting this year. You actually had the opportunity to present.
I did. Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
How was it?
Great, because it was something that I wanted to present. Because I was asked to do COBOL copybooks with VSCode, and I'm like, interesting, but doesn't really get me going. I tell you what, let's do VSCode extensions and writing it yourself.
That's awesome. Yeah, I heard it was really well received.
Yeah, it was, yeah. And I don't want to take, it was my idea, I'll take that credit, but Kate and V do all the work. I just stood up there and talked.
Oh, no, I heard the otherwise. All the value came from what you had to say. So thank you so much for that. And thank you for something else, because you're actually the one who gave us the idea to start the podcast.
Yeah.
And so big thanks to you. Hope you've enjoyed What's Up Mainframe.
Yeah, I've seen every episode.
Excellent. Star.
Yes.
He's going to get a mug.
Prove it.
Emlyn, so great to catch up with you. And I think
Zach.
we'll actually dive in and see a little bit of your presentation as an addendum to this.
That'd be great.
Awesome.
Yeah. It all goes back to when two legendary Endeavour Broadcom people, or CA people back then, Owen O'Cleary and Pete McCulloch, were over in the UK at the Endeavour User Group in Slough near London. And they came and demonstrated the Endeavour Eclipse plugin. Now, I think we were all old mainframers even then, so we were all a bit skeptical. But we could see something in it. And one of the questions was, what about my ISPF panels? Can you replicate that in Eclipse? Can you run REXX in Eclipse? And the answer was, don't know at the time. For the record, we run REXX through Eclipse now, but we've never replicated panels. So roll on a few years and we've started using VSCode and we're all liking it. And in January this year, I had a bit of spare time, which might surprise the head of mainframe over there, Roach. But I did have a bit of spare time. So I thought, I'll just have a look. Maybe it's easy. So I tried. I went to Google. And I typed in how to write a VSCode extension. And first up, a Microsoft page, your first extension. And there's instructions in here. It says you need Node.js. Well, I have got Zoe CLI on my desktop, so I've got Node. That's great. And if you just skip down a bit to the bottom here, it says you just have to run 2 commands. So I need to install Yeoman, which is npm install global yo generate code. And Vita's going to do that for us, real time. And while that chugs away, the second command was yo code. Let's do yo code. Go back to VSCode. Oh,
Almost
VS
there.
Code.
Almost there.
In 23 seconds, good to know. Your code, enter. Sorry, I didn't know I was doing the enter bit. And it comes up with some questions. The web page tells you what to answer there, and it's all pretty much what the defaults are. So I think if you could just go through those fairly quickly. I don't want to tell you what they are, except for the name, that's quite important. We don't have enough time to go through them in detail.
I was just hitting enter for the record.
And it's done it. So we've got an option at the bottom, open with code. Code is VSCode. Let's open. And from here, we're actually ready to run our extension.
Okay, so I'll go and do the run extension.
Ignore the Java not installed. It's nothing to do with this.
I never had Java, by the way. So this is a new window of VS Code with the extension that we just created from Yeoman. And it implements one command called hello world. So I'll click here and select the show and run commands, and I'll type hello world. And when I click on it, it says hello world from MT Prague 2025.
So we've got an extension. How easy was that? It was very easy. I was a bit open-eyed at that. But obviously you need to do more than just show a hello world box at the bottom corner. So let's have a look at the code it generated for us, please. There's one important file here.
Switching back to the source code, so there's an src folder, and within it is the extension.ts file, which is the extension.
And within that, there is obviously a bit more code than we need to look at right now. But one of the bits, the very important one, is VS Code window, show information message, hello world from MT Prague. So then you think, oh, all I have to do is plug a different command in there and we'll be cooking. So what do I want to do? I want to user input, I want to run commands, I want to run Zoe CLI commands. And I carried on, I'm ashamed to say, with Google, because I had such good success with Google, it's going to work. And I didn't. It was just rubbish. I probably wasted half an hour, possibly longer, I don't know. And of course, what should I have been doing? Anybody? Gen AI. Thank you. So I went on to ChatGPT or whatever we're allowed to use at the bank. And I started searching. Now, okay, we're going to keep this simple. So I did do some searches on how to do some user input and how to run a Zoe CLI command, how to run a Zoe CLI command in the VS Code terminal. But for simplicity, one other idea I had was we have a web page with information for VS Code for the bank. So we know where to go and get VS Code, where to get your Zoe configs from, all the things you need to know to set up VS Code at NatWest. So it'd be great if you just have a command to go in and open up the web page. So I didn't go there, but for the sake of this, we will just put in here, write a VS Code extension, okay, how to open a URL from VS Code 10. And here we go, we get an answer.
More GPUs.
Yeah, it's for free.
Yeah.
And it gives me the whole thing I need to create a whole extension. But we only need the one command. Remember that file extension.ts? Well, within that will be a command, VS Code, env open external, VS Code URI, stars URL. So we put that into our extension. And okay, we're not going to open the NatWest VS Code page. We're going to go to Code for Z for Broadcom page. We're going to save that and we're going to see how it works.
There's my hello world. So I'll click on it. And it asks me whether I'm allowing the extension to open this URL, whether it's trusted. If you will be setting this up in your environment, there is a way to configure trusted domains, and then this model will not be showing up. But I'll click on open.
There you go. So we've got a more useful extension command now. And like I said, you know, I started building up through ChatGPT and everything, and we came up with a sample that we could use for the demo here. So Veet's going to show a full sample of what you can do with one command.
So before we go there, I'd like to provide a little bit of context. So we've been working with Emlyn to enable the integrations that we were showing before in Explorer for Endeavor for automatic copybook retrieval, and we were asking if you'd be interested to mention the experience here and to present with us. And he said, I have a different idea. You know, I'm working on a VSCode extension to make the ISPF panel functionality available in VSCode. So what do you think? And as soon as I heard it, I thought, well, this is something we have to do, because we've been through this with multiple clients, and the pattern is almost always the same. So you have your ISPF panels, typically a REXX application, and the steps go like this. You, instead of taking inputs from a screen, you convert the REXX to accept arguments. And instead of showing the output on a different ISPF screen, you write them to dataset. Now you have a REXX that you can execute from TSO, or possibly by submitting a job through TSO, and you can run it through Zoe CLI. So I have a sample REXX program here to show you. Very simple program. Reads an argument, prints a flower box to the terminal, and then runs a listDS TSO command to show the dataset attributes and the PDS members. And I have stored it to my mainframe to a PDS, and I can run it using Zoe CLI. So I'll make this a little bigger. Hopefully everybody can see it. So it's Zoe TSO issue command exec, then I'm providing the exec, and after that I'm providing the arguments. If you would be providing multiple arguments, they have to fit in here, in between these quotes. So the quoting is a little bit tricky, but it's kind of easy to figure out, and I'll be showing you where to get a sample that we'll be sharing later. So if I run it, I get my report. So the REXX prints the output, and I can see it from here. So this is standard Zoe CLI command. Now, what I need to do, if I want to have this in my VSCode extension, I need to wrap it in an extension. And similar to what we just saw with the Yeoman-generated extension from Microsoft, I have a sample extension to show here. It's about 30 lines of code. So what it does, it prompts me for the input to be passed to the REXX, and then it executes the REXX using Zoe CLI. It captures the output, stores it to a file, and opens the file. So let's try running it. Extension. Here, this extension is not Hello World. This is example.com, like modeled after a fictitious company. So if you would be building your own extension for your company, you would probably have as a prefix to the command the name of your company. I guess in Emlyn's case could be NatWest. You know, in yours case would be the name of your company. And I have 3 commands. One of them to open the docs, which is kind of the same what we just did with the previous example, and one to run this report REXX program. So I'll click on it. I'll provide the PDS that I'm interested about to get the report. So that will be public.jcl. Hit enter. And I'll wait for a bit, and there is my report.
So you can see that we can do stuff. And the reasons I wanted to look at it, the examples I have, are 3 I can think of straight away. One, CCIDs, change control identifiers in Endeavour. They relate to change records, and change records have descriptions and all other sorts of other information. And we keep that information on the mainframe. And I have an ISPF panel so the developers can go in, put a CCID into the panel, and then they'll get the information about the change record coming back. That's the first one, and that's just running some REXX, exactly how V did it, only instead of getting dataset information, we're getting information sent back from REXX. Another one is we do code reviews or package reviews when people are promoting elements through Endeavour. We just check before they go into production that they haven't changed processor group, or we just warn them if they have. For example, we'll explain some of the options in the processor groups, like DB2 bind options, where they're going to go, what schema they're going to go bind against. There'll be a bit of code review in there as well. At the moment on the mainframe, it's an ISPF panel, you run a job and then you get some data sets to look at. Well, I've written it so that in VSCode, you still run the same job. I didn't want to replicate the code, I didn't want to rewrite the code. So we still run the same job, but then I get the data sets and they still exist. But because I've got Zoe CLI and I can run commands, I pull those data sets back up to my desktop and open up those in the VSCode Zoe Explorer. No, not Zoe Explorer, in the File Explorer section. And the third option I don't think is going to last long because Broadcom will come up with something better. But for creating a package now, we've got a job an ISPF panel in the job that will accept a CCID and it will build a package for you. And you build all your elements, your programs based on that CCID. But I think that's going to be overtaken at some point by the Endeavour Explorer for VS Code. And I think the next bit we're going on to, we've got a bit of a confusion about who actually thought of this. He thinks it was me, I think it was him. But I'll hand over to Vít.
We have this public repository where we're sharing product samples. So when we were discussing this presentation, we thought, why not create a skeleton of what we'll be showing here to share with everybody, so that you can start looking at creating your own extension, starting just with 30 lines of code. So I just created a pull request. I'll have to get it approved, but it will be on GitHub. It's the Broadcom MFD organization, and it's Broadcom product scripts is the name of the repository, and that contains the complete extension, including the basic report with the REXX, and also an enhanced variant, which is about 100 lines longer, contains error checking, provides progress bar, checking for the input, validation, shows an output. When we have time at the end, I'll be happy to show it.
So we've got some samples for you. We've showed you a very simple way to build an extension. There's a couple of things we haven't mentioned. One is the README. For those of you who know VS Code, you go to the marketplace to get extensions. If you click on extension, you get information about it. You get a changelog version number. So Vít has a README that he created, and the README is in one of the files in the file structure. README. The other thing you can have is an icon. So you'll want an icon for your own bank, or the Welsh flag. I don't know what you want in there. I want the Welsh flag. But I might be forced to use a NatWest icon. You can put that in the folder structure as well.
And I generated the icon using the same chatbot over here. Just asked it, generate an icon 128 pixels times 128 pixels for VSCode, and that's it.
And there's one more thing we haven't told you about. We need to get this out to the users. You need to pass on. And what you do is you generate the file. What's the word, Vít?
Yes,
Either or.
And the final phase is calling package, which might be confusing in the Endeavour context. But in the VS Code context, when we are creating the extension itself to upload it to the marketplace or to send it to users, That's also typically called package. So there is a command called package, and when I run it, if my compile runs successfully, I would see a new VSIX file here, and I would just go to extensions.
So we pass that file on to the users somehow, and they would go to extensions.
Install from VSIX, then select the file and click install.
Easy as that. Obviously the code's going to get a bit gnarly once you get into it. Any questions? Everybody want to go to the bar? Like, we've had a full day.
Yeah, please actually rate our presentation, share your feedback, and if you have any questions, Emlyn and I will be around the court. So thank you so much.